Good evening, HSM West. If you know anything about me, I hope you know that I am the type of person who lives my life with purpose at every turn. Everything in life has a reason, and I want to be purposeful. I want to know why. I want to be purposeful. You want to be purposeful. And so I have a question for you. What is the purpose of dating? Like, why would you date someone? What's the reason for it? What's the ultimate goal of being in a dating relationship? Go ahead and take a minute, discuss it with your group. You may have to start by defining what dating is, but go ahead and come up with an answer to that question. What is the purpose of dating? What do you think is the ultimate reason that people date each other? What is the purpose of dating? I hope you had a lively discussion. In fact, I'm always anxious to see how you guys in particular define dating these days. Like, is it dating, or are we talking or texting or hanging out? Or like, yeah, like we definitely like each other, but we're not dating. Like, we're not even boyfriend and girlfriend yet. To be honest with you, it's pretty funny to me to hear all the ways that you guys talk about this and all the different terms and classifications that we have, because like we can label it like talking or hanging out or tiddlywinks for all I care. But at the end of the day, we are all talking about the same thing, right? It's a guy and a girl who are interested in getting to know each other. And the purpose of dating is mate selection. Ew, that's weird. Why do you say mate? I said it because it sounds weird and you're going to remember it. But essentially, the purpose of dating is to get to know someone and find out if that's a person who you want to spend the rest of your life with, right? Dating isn't the end of the line. It's not the end goal. It's leading somewhere, and that place is marriage. Do I like this person enough to want to marry them? Am I attracted to them enough that I would want to spend the rest of my life with them? That's the point. That's the purpose, right? Finding a spouse. Great. But this is church. So, what does the Bible have to say about dating? Do you guys remember Jesus' instructions to his followers on how they should date each other? Do y'all recall what Moses said to the Israelites, the young adolescents, about how they should handle their dating relationships? Any passages or specific verses come to mind that you can think of? Surprise! The Bible doesn't talk about dating. Interestingly enough, we don't have any examples of people who dated in the Bible, at least in the way that you are thinking of it. But we do have some examples of mate selection. People in the ancient Near Eastern cultures that the Bible is set in didn't have the time and space to date each other the way that you guys do. They didn't have Snapchat, they didn't have cars or prom, but they still had to find spouses. And while the Bible doesn't have any direct advice on how to date someone per se, it's got plenty of advice for you on how to handle your attractions when getting to know someone that you might want to marry. In fact, there's an entire book of the Bible written about romance and love and sex and how to handle attraction towards someone. It's called the Song of Songs. It's a love poem. It's written as a song. It's about a man and a woman who are madly in love with each other, but it's not just a love song, right? It's the song of all songs, the same way that Jesus is the King of all kings and the Lord of all lords. This isn't just a regular old love song. It is the love song par excellence, the love song of all love songs, and we're studying it this month in our small groups. So if you have your Bibles, go ahead and get them out. We're going to be studying the second chapter of the Song of Songs. And the passage that we're going to look at today is an interaction between this young man and this young woman who are madly attracted to one another, okay? My guess is that at some point, you in your life have experienced a deep attraction for someone. You've looked at another person and thought, wow, I really like that person. Like, I really, really like them. Like, butterflies in your stomach, think about them all day, warm, fuzzy feelings type like them. And so if you've ever found yourself madly attracted to another person, I invite you to look at this text with me and see a godly picture of how we're supposed to handle that type of attraction. Now, as we get into this text, make no mistake that this young man and this young woman are super into each other, okay? They are a hunk of burning love, hot and heavy, let's get it on type in love with each other. Like they are on fire, crazy. And they will get there later in the book, but in all of their interactions, they are going to be a display to us of how to honor one another amidst that deep attraction that they have. So, whatever intense feelings of love and romance you've experienced, they've been there. But they came out on the other side, and through it all, they were able to respect one another in doing what is right and pleasing to the Lord. And so my heart for you today, as we study this passage, is that you would do the same thing with your love and with your affections. And what I hope for you to see is this: God's design is for us to honor each other amidst our attractions. So go ahead and turn with me. We're in the Song of Solomon, chapter 2. We're going to be studying verses 8 through 15 today. And I'm going to be here with you guys. And together, we're actually going to make 4 big observations about how this young couple honors each other in this stage of attraction that they find themselves in. So let's start in verse 8. Read along with me. It says this: "The voice of my beloved, behold, he comes, leaping over the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag." Spend a couple of minutes with your small group, and I want you to do this. I want you to make some observations about the text, okay? Spend some time, read it again, talk about it, and I want you to answer these 3 questions. Number 1, who is talking? Number 2, who are they talking about? And number 3, what do we learn about the person that's being described? So here we have the young lady, and she's talking about the young man who she's in love with. And man, this guy is on cloud 9. He is jumping for joy. He's so high, he's jumping over the mountains with a single bound. This guy is giddy, right? He's excited. He's coming to see his girl, and he's so happy. He is just prancing around like a gazelle, so pumped up that he gets to see his woman. Have you guys ever felt like that before? I remember one of the first times I came to pick up my wife, Catherine, and take her on a date. I showed up at her front door. I had her favorite flowers in hand, and man, I was so excited. I was all dressed nicely, and my heart, I remember standing there in front of her door, about to ring her door, and my heart was beating out of my chest, and I could not wait to see this young lady. And so here's our first observation. Honorable attraction is passionate. This is not a dull relationship. This isn't a, hey, you up message into somebody's DMs. This isn't a, let's text all day and then awkwardly ignore each other when we pass by in the hallway. These people are full of passion, and you can see it in the way that they act, in the look on their face. They are not hiding. They're not holding back. Honorable attraction is totally passionate. And that's a good thing, right? This guy, he is not afraid to let the world know that he is into this girl. Nothing at all to hide. So let's keep going. We're going to pick up in verse 9. Follow along with me here. "Behold, there he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, looking through the lattice." Take a minute with your small group. Make some more observations about the text. Here's the questions I want you guys to answer. Why is this guy standing behind the wall? Why doesn't he just go inside? And what is he doing by waiting outside? So here we have this guy. He comes in. He is jumping over the mountains, just totally excited. And when he finally gets to this girl, he stands outside the gates and looks through the windows, trying to find her. Why does he stop short? What's he doing? Well, for starters, this dude isn't a creep. Let's rule that out, right? We know he's not creeping on her because we've already figured out that he's passionate, right? He's unashamedly passionate. He's motivated. He's interested. And we can see it by the smile on his face and the spring in his step that this dude is into her. Why is he waiting outside then? He's waiting outside because he wants to respect her boundaries, right? He doesn't want to just barge into her territory and demand something that doesn't belong to him. He shows up and he waits for her to come to him on her own terms. He approaches her with this sense of honor and respect. So he's bringing himself close, but not too close. He's going to wait for her to respond to him before he goes in, barging into her territory. And there's going to be a time for him to enter, but not yet. Honorable attraction sets healthy boundaries. You guys, I see this so much in y'all's dating relationships where a guy will go in and just take all that he wants from a girl. Whether that's her time, whether that's her relationships with her friends or with her family, whether it's her physicality, her body. I see it over and over again where young men especially will rush into a relationship. They'll tell a girl, I love you. They'll hold hands the next day. They'll make out in the car that weekend. And the next thing you know, they're hooking up and having sex. Guys are so prone to go in and just get what they want out of it. And what's even more sad for me to watch is when a girl gives it to him. If you want to have an honorable attraction, set healthy boundaries. Men, don't go running in there just because you want to. Have a little bit of self-control. Honor her and stop at the gate. Give her some time. Give her some space to figure out what she wants to do. Figure out her emotions. Respect the decision that she makes. This isn't just about you. And to all my ladies out there, don't open up the gate just because he's there. I promise you, the right man is going to come into your life at just the right time. When he shows up, take your time, compose yourself, evaluate, see if he's willing to honor you, your emotions, your decision. We don't fall in love with people just because they like us or are into us. We set healthy boundaries. Let's keep reading. We're going to be verse 10 through 14. Follow along with me. It says this. My beloved speaks and says to me, arise, my love, my beautiful one, and come away. For behold, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing has come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The fig tree ripens its figs, and the vines are in blossom. They give forth fragrance. Arise, my love, my beautiful one, and come away. Oh, my dove, in the clefts of the rock and the crannies of the cliff, let me see your face. Let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet, and your face is lovely. There's a lot there. Go ahead, read through it again with your small group, and let's make some more observations about this text. Here's what I want you to figure out. What is the guy asking the girl to do? How does this guy speak to the girl? And what does the analogy of springtime mean in this passage? So here we've got our guy again. He's calling out to this girl and he says, arise, my love, my beautiful one. She is like a pure dove in his mind, hiding in the clefts of a rock, whose voice is sweet and whose face is lovely. I mean, look at the love, look at the respect. This man is using his words to praise her, to speak sweetly to her, and to honor her and let her know how special she is to him. He says, come away with me. The cold, dark winter has passed. The springtime has come. Snowvid 2021 is over. The birds are singing. There's fruit on the vines and the trees. The flowers are blooming. There's fragrance. Love is in the air, right? Can you guys see the picture? Okay. He says to this girl, come away with me. I want to see your lovely face and I want to hear your sweet, sweet voice because I am madly in love with you. Guys, here's a little hint for you. And this one's for free. So my freshman guys, get out the pen and paper that we got out last time, right? Okay, you ready to take some notes? Here it is. Girls love this stuff. I promise you, they are all sitting right now in their small groups thinking, man, I wish that there was a boy who would respect my boundaries, who would speak to me as gently and as lovingly as this guy does in this story. Where is this guy? Right? They are envisioning a man who would have the courage to communicate clear intentions to them, thinking, oh, I wish it was like that. But you know what's sad about that reality is that these girls have to wish for it. Most of these girls have never had a guy treat them that way before. They're used to guys DMing them and asking them for nudes, catcalling them, sexualizing their bodies at any chance they get, or telling them they look pretty just because they want to hook up. These girls have no idea what it's like to be shown this kind of love and respect, and that needs to change. And what I want you to see here is that honorable attraction communicates intentions clearly. Not only does this guy speak lovingly to her, but he's completely upfront about what he wants to do. He says, come away with me. Let's take a walk. Just you and me. Let's get to know each other. I want to see your face. I want to hear your voice. He has stated his purpose, and he's giving her a chance to respond. She's not sitting there. She's not left wondering who this guy is or what he really wants. He's upfront about it. To my ladies out there, if a boy doesn't have the courage or the integrity to state his intentions clearly, drop him, run, get out, unfriend, unfollow, see you later, block his number, whatever you have to do. He is not worth it, I promise. If he doesn't have the courage to walk up to you face to face and say, hey, you're an absolutely incredible girl, and I'd love to spend more time getting to know you. Could I take you out to dinner on Friday night and then take you on a walk later? He's not worth your time. Honorable attraction communicates intentions clearly. So let's wrap it up here. Let's get into verse 15. Y'all read this along with me. Catch the foxes for us, the little foxes that spoil the vineyards, for our vineyards are in blossom. One last verse for you guys, okay? What I want you to do is to talk about it with your group and answer these questions. What are the foxes doing in these verses? What does our author want us to do with the foxes? And what do you think that symbolizes? You sly desert fox. Ever heard that one before? Guys, foxes are crafty, right? They're sneaky, they're mischievous, they're hard to find, they're silent killers. They'll sneak up in the night and they'll kill your chickens when you're not looking. This is the image of a fox, right? You guys know what a fox is. Here in this passage, the foxes spoil the vineyards. Now, the vineyard here, it's a symbol. It's not a literal vineyard per se, but it's a poetic, a symbolic representation of the relationship that this young man and woman have been growing and cultivating together, like a vineyard, right? And so when he says, catch the foxes, he's saying that they as a couple need to go out and eliminate anything that would hinder their growth in a healthy way. They got to make sure that they do the hard work it takes to preserve this relationship that they've been working towards. And that's our final point for today. Honorable attraction protects the relationship. It's not easy to cultivate a deep and meaningful relationship with someone, right? It takes hard work. It takes cooperation to make sure that nothing sneaks in and destroys your progress. You've got to actively take steps and come up with a game plan together to protect that relationship. Guys, I hope you've learned something about what it means to have attraction for another person in a way that honors them, Relationships are not easy. And I see so many kids out there who are getting it wrong because they're going to culture first, they're going to media first, they're going to their friends to figure out how to go about a relationship. But God's word is here to inform us about what to do with our attractions. And so your application for today is simple: honor each other. If you find yourself attracted to another person, first and foremost, honor them. And you guys can start doing that today. Remember, honorable attraction is passionate. It sets healthy boundaries, it communicates intentions clearly, and it protects the relationship. Don't be ashamed. Don't take advantage of people. Don't slide into anyone's DMs, and work hard to keep a relationship healthy. Ladies, don't date losers. Gentlemen, honor these young women, use your words, and I promise you, they'll love it. We'll see you guys next week.